Hello, good day. How are you today? You're good, right? Okay. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are? That is good. Today in basic science, we are going to be learning about water cycle and rain formation. Our topic for today in basic science is on water cycle and rain formation. Okay? Are you ready for the lesson? You are. That is good. So first we're going to be looking at water cycle. The water cycle is a natural process that describes how water on earth moves and changes from one form to another. Okay? The water cycle is a natural process that describes how water on Earth moves and changes from one form to another. The water cycle is a continuous process that never stops. It has four main stages. Evaporation. This is where the water from places like rivers, lakes, and oceans is heated by the sun. The heat turns the water into an invisible gas called water vapor, which rises up into the sky. This happens when the sun's energy heats up the water in oceans, rivers, lakes. The heat causes the water to turn into water vapor, which rises into the sky. Okay? Evaporation. The process begins when the sun heats water in rivers, lakes, and oceans. This causes water to turn into water vapor and rise into the air. Condensation. As the water vapor rises higher into the atmosphere, it cools down and changes back into tiny water droplets, gather together to form clouds in the sky. As the water vapor rises, it cools and changes back into tiny water droplets. These droplets come together to form clouds. Okay? Precipitation. When the clouds become full of water droplets, the droplets combine and grow larger. When they get heavy enough, they fall to the ground as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. This is what we call precipitation. When the clouds become heavy with water droplets, they release the water in form of rain, snow. Okay? Collection. The water that falls to the ground as precipitation doesn't disappear. It flows into rivers, lakes, and oceans. Some of it also soaks into the ground and becomes groundwater. This collected water is used by plants, animals, and people, and it can evaporate to start the cycle over again. So the water that falls on the ground, it flows into rivers, lakes, and oceans. Some of it also soaks into the ground to replenish underground water source. Okay, so the water cycle is a continuous process where water evaporates from the Earth's surface, forms cloud, falls as precipitation, and is collected to be used again. It's essential for providing us with clean water and maintaining our planet's ecosystems. Do we understand that? We do, right? Good. So we're going to be looking at formation of rain. Rain is a part of the water cycle, and it happens when water droplets in the clouds get together and fall to the ground. So rain is a part of the water cycle and forms when the water vapor in the sky condenses into liquid water droplets in the cloud. Here is how it works. Evaporation. The process begins when the sun shines on bodies of water like oceans, lakes, and rivers. The sun heat causes the water to turn into water vapor, which rises into the sky. Condensation. As the water vapor goes higher into the sky, it cools down. When it cools down, it changes back into tiny water droplets. These water droplets come together and form clouds in the sky. Clouds are made up of tiny water droplets. These droplets form when the water vapor in the air condenses around tiny particles like dust or salt. Clouds getting heavier. Inside the clouds, lots of tiny water droplets keep bumping into each other. They stick together and grow bigger. When these water droplets get heavy enough, they fall from the cloud as rain. So inside a cloud, water droplets keep bumping into each other, combining and growing. When they get heavy enough, they fall from the cloud. These falling water droplets are what we see as rain. Rain falls. The falling water droplets make up what we see as rain. The size of the raindrops can vary, and this is why we sometimes have light rain and sometimes heavy rain. So the size of the raindrops can vary. Small drops might float in the air longer before reaching the ground, while larger ones fall faster. When many raindrops come together, it forms a steady rainfall. So rain is a result of the water cycle, where water evaporates, forms cloud, and eventually falls back to the earth as rain. It's actually a fascinating process that keeps our planet's water supply in balance and provides the water we need for plants, animals, and people. So rain is the result of water vapor turning into water droplets in the clouds and then falling back to the ground. It's an essential part of the water cycle and brings us the rain we need for plants, animals, and people. Do we understand? We do, right? Good. Today's lesson on water cycle and rain formation. We talked about water cycle as the natural process that explains how water moves around the earth. And we said there are four main stages: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Then we talked about formation of rain. We said rain is a part of the water cycle. It forms when water droplets in the clouds come together and fall to the ground, right? So the water cycle describes how water moves around the earth, and rain is one of its important parts, where water droplets in the clouds come together and fall to the ground, helping to provide us with water we need, right? Good. So we understood today's lesson. Okay, so next we are going to be looking at our assignment. I'm sure we are going to be able to do our assignment, right? Good.